And welcome back to another session of how to play my commander deck, this time in a four-color shell, sans white. Same deal, just really a mid-range value pile, trying to threaten good board state, not necessarily a win by turn 5, turn 6 or so. This version's pros over the Simic and Mono Blue. Black's tutor power is very prevalent, extremely useful to obviously find the cards you need at any given time. And also greens or land ramp, very useful in the casual meta where artifacts are extremely likely to get disrupted. So it's nice not to worry about that. And we will get right into it. So opening hand. Not a huge fan of this one. So Grim Tutor could find what we're lacking, but we don't have double black. Extra turn doesn't really do much with this hand except cantrip, and we have a 10 drop in the opening hand. So it's not really ideal. I think we can do better. We're aiming for 2 to 3 lands and a ramp spell, and then some card advantage. So we'll ship this back. And this has 0 lands, so that's going back too. So we'd be going to 6. All right, so this is better. So the deck has plenty of top end. In my opinion, we need to focus on getting through early game first before worrying about getting to the late. So clear bottom and coma right here. Good to know on commander, especially even at a non-competitive level. Take advantage of your mulligans. Even if you mulligan 3 times, if you mulligan twice, that's 21 cards you get to see, and you get to stay up to 6. So don't keep an average hand. Like, I guess don't hunt for the world, but make sure you get a hand that's playable. So we'll roll with this. Okay, so we'll take our draw step. All right, so in this deck, when it comes to fetch lands, so in four color is where I find you actually have to pay attention to what you're fetching for, because in this deck specifically, each color is useful. Blue is the main focus. Like once all colors are reached, we want to stockpile on blue. But early game, we want to focus on getting all the colors on the field, and then I would say priorities double blue, and then probably double green, and then double black, double reds, kind of tied. But in this case, we got Soccer Tri-Belter and Demonic Tutor. So, and we don't have, so we have all of our colors. So we can already consider doubling down. Don't need another red because we got plenty of red. Usually 2 red pips is enough for this deck to function entirely. But blue is a main focus, so we'll go ahead and fetch for a blue source here. Steve can fix us into another color if we need it. Steve being Soccer or Tri-Belter. So we'll go ahead and get our Bring Pull tap, shuffle up past that turn, next turn. All right, so we got a decision point. Question would be Demonic Tutor versus Soccer or Tri-Belter. So if we go into Steve, I believe it was 4 mana next turn. We could Demonic Tutor and likely get Soul Ring and play Thrasios. If we Demonic Tutor here, so we play a 3rd land, play a Soul Ring, and they would actually let 2 mana go to waste. So unless I was worried about a super aggressive hyper counter spell meta, I would jam the Demonic Tutor right here. But it's more mana efficient to play Steve now and then Demonic Tutor and Thrasios in the next turn. So that's what we're going to do. As for basic count in the deck, we got 2 islands, 2 basic forests, 1 swamp, 1 mountain. Mountain's already here, so we got plenty of red. We got a double green here and a basic swamp here would net us double black. Double black being useful for damnation. And I guess Rune Scar Demon, but that's later on the curve at 7. So we'll go ahead and sack for a swamp and keep on moving. Another thing to note is we're thinking too hard about which lands we played on turn 1 and 2, but the way we're sequencing our lands, we'll have our colors to play Thrasios and Demonic Tutor unless something changes. So we'll go right into turn 3. And Coma comes back, but that's okay. So we'll go ahead and play a blue source here. And we'll do just as us. Actually, no. So this actually changes the plan. So, and we're actually punished by searches. It's funny. I was just saying, we did decently with our searches, but basic swamp is actually going to punish us here because if we Demonic Tutored into Soul Ring, we would have 7 mana next turn and could cast Coma if we had the colors, but we don't. So obviously, hindsight is 2020. And Coma is one of the stricter color requirements, and I was not going to pass up making sure I hit double black. With the hand as unclear as it was, like if we're playing against an aggressive matchup, loads to the ground like Slivers or Goblins or something, we may need to tutor for damnation. So I don't regret going for the double black. Again, a slight punish here, but we'll stick to the original plan, which will be I would sequence Thrasios first because if people aren't very familiar with I say the matchup. This deck doesn't focus on Thrasios too much. Like he's just there as an option to do if you have nothing better. But the only card that really synergizes him with is Seaborn Muse and or I guess the general ramp options. But he might need a counter from some people. They're really scared of him. And then we'll go with the Demonic Tutor. And I think Soul Ring is the clear choice here. We're on 5 mana, no easy way to accelerate into the coma. Generally, Soul Ring is the strongest card, I think, to tutor for early, unless there's another pressing threat. If we needed to board wipe, we could go get Damnation, but of course, if we were going to do that, we wouldn't play Thrasios into the wipe. So we'll stick a Soul Ring and see what happens. Go to the next turn. Okay, Eternal Witness, good draw. So we'll go ahead and shock in the Stomping Ground to make sure we can play the Eternal Witness. Not too... Getting back to Demonic Tutor, it's all right. It will really depend on the board state. So like, we don't need to tutor for anything in this instance. Like we have our mana, we have a threat to deploy. So if the board was dire or board state was dire, you needed a specific answer, like a counter spell or something, I would E-Wit the Demonic Tutor and cast it, go find an answer. But in this case, again, we have what we need, so we're just going to continue ramping and then set up Vial Smasher for next turn as to get some free 7 damage off the coma. So we'll go with the Soul Ring and then go with, actually, smart thing to do. Most people, they don't really fall for bluffs in Commander, but it'd actually be smart to leave double blow up. So tap a black for the Soul Ring, 1, 2, red, black. Or am I doing this improperly? Let's see. So how much mana we have? So Soul Ring would be 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we do this properly, we can cast Vial Smasher and Eternal Witness. So let's not bluff. Let's cast a Soul Ring with our blue source that we don't need for anything else. Floating a generic, let's go black, red, cast Vial Smasher. And just as I was saying, so with 4 color, you have to pay attention to what you search. Really got to pay attention to how you tap your mana. So 1 generic floating will cast Vial Smasher. And with that generic, again, we'll go with Eternal Witness. We have Steve and Demonic Tutor. Demonic Tutor generally is stronger options since we already have our lands under us. So we'll put that back into our hand and hit somebody from one if they're open. So good start by turn 4, doing exactly what the deck wants to do, putting a threat into play on turn 5. Unlikely that we're like on the way to winning or anything, but just establishing a strong board, which is what the deck's assigned to do. So we'll go to the next turn. Skyshaw's Claim is solid, but at this point, really just want to keep applying pressure. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll go 1, 2, green, green, blue, blue, 7. Draw out this coma, dome somebody for 7 men, for 7. Pretty decent Vial Smasher. I don't think it's the best commander out there, but getting free damage, so it's nothing to laugh at. So we'd hit somebody for 7, take our attacks if we have them, otherwise sit back, and coma will most certainly take over the game if it's not answered. And even if it is, we got a Demonic Tutor sitting in the wings to go grab something else. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should have counted our mana before we did that. We did not have enough to Skyshard Claim into the coma. That would have been a consideration if we had 1 more mana, but we're sharp at 1. So we'll assume the turn rotation happens. Coma would make 3 snakes. And I won't do this every time going forward. I'll just maybe do it in the first turn. So then when we go to our next turn, we'd have 1 more snake. Summoning Sick. Of course, if you want to use the coils to tap anything, sacrifice the Summoning Sick one first so these 3 can attack. So here, let's see. So if the board wasn't crazy, and if Coma lived this long, I would assume that nobody would have had spot removal. So I would be looking to, let's go to Mountain. I would be looking to jam more threats, and the best threat in this case, if Thrasios hasn't died, I would actually tutor for Seaborn Muse here. So if we Skyshot Claim, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll leave us with just enough to Demonic Tutor in the Seaborn. So we'll tap like this, cast a Skyshot Claim, go get some Forest. Again, blue is the most important focus, so we're definitely going to get Tropical. We got triple red, more than enough. Double black is good, but a turn's more likely to use more black than red, so we'll go ahead and get a Bayou. Shuffle that in. Red, black. Go for this Demonic Tutor. And, of course, this is a Captain Obvious statement, but clearly black showing its merit to go get the cards you need and or want at any given time. In the non-black versions, this may have been a Worldly Tutor or Solve the Equation or Finale of Devastation. Obviously, not bad cards in the sense that would effectively solve the same purpose, except Solve the Equation would. Green Finale would. Worldly Tutor would not. It would have been more. We wouldn't have been able to Sky Shroud and get the Seaborn and put it into play. So Black's strongest tutors, having the strongest tutors, really showing its merit here. So we'll do green, blue, cast a Seaborn. And again, I would if Coma lived that rotation, just keep piling on the pressure because it's extremely unlikely anybody has removal. If you're worried about committing too hard to the board, you'll probably get at least one untap with this. In which case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 mana short from activating Thrasios 3 times. With 2 activations, you either ramp more or draw more cards to keep going. So I wouldn't be too worried about overcommitting. So we'd swing with what we can and untap. And we'll just assume everything goes hunky dory. So again, we make more snakes. I'll go ahead and do it. So go 1, activate Thrasios at the end of turn. And of course, when activating Thrasios in 4 color, try to leave blue and black up because blue is for counter spells. Black, you might hit Vampiric Tutor and or Mystical Tutor, which again are blue and black. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Let me do exactly what I said. We'll tap like this first, activate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Kozak would be fine here. We'll protect that. And then we'll go black, blue, blue. So if we get a 2 mana counter spell, we can cast it. Or if we have Vampiric Tutor, we can also cast that. Vial. AC, not bad, but we already have a top end plan. And if Seaborn hasn't died at this point, which someone will put removal on the stack right now because we're so low on mana, if they killed Seaborn or something, I guess we would take the AC. But right now, we final threats. Force of Will, excellent. No blue card to back it up, but still a counter spell. We don't tap. Get a snake. Let's assume nothing happens. We'll go with the same activation. Let's go like this. Sorry, we should tap this first. Activate. Definitely do not want Damnation. We have the board. Took another counter spell. Generally, when I have a known counter spell in hand with Seaborn Thrasios going, just like to leave up the counter spell mana, so we'll definitely hold up double blue no matter what. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go like this. All right, we'll take more lands. He gets Restoration tap, and we'll do one more. So get another snake. And if nothing happened, we'll activate. Sorry, leave up blue as I said. We'll actually take a Brainstorm here because it'll let us stack more lands on top. So tap the blue, cast Brainstorm, just like that. So we'll throw fetch lands on top. It's fine. And we'll do black, pull that up. We'll take a fetch land tapped, and we'll go to next turn. All right, we'll get one more snake. So my other test for the other versions, usually by this point, deck is it's pretty close to winning or it's well on its way. I would say this is the same case. Clearly, a extremely dominant board with Coma, Seaborn Thrasios going, and double counterspell in hand with another threat waiting in the wings. So I would say as I add more colors, the deck can become a little less like combo oriented. Like so, clearly we didn't draw any clear combo pieces, and compared to, for example, the version with Kadama, our board it's loaded, but now with cards, it's just tokens. This deck definitely has more grind out potential, and clearly we had more options with the presence of Demonic Tutor. So I won't keep going with this test. Clearly, it's shown the purpose of this deck, which is, as I said, by turn 5 or 6. Let's see, turn 5 was Coma. Yeah, I think turn 5 was Coma. Turn 3 was Demonic, and turn 3 was Demonic and Thrasios, where we got slightly punished by how we searched. And then turn 4 was Coma, I believe. Sorry, forgot that fast. But point is, deck's doing what it's supposed to do. Establish a pretty decent threat by turns 5 and 6 and be on its way to winning the game. So again, thank you for tuning in. This has been the 4-color version. Thanks.